Makalaka hi, maka hi, maka ho. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Recruiting Animal Show on April 20th, 2022. See, I have to pause. You know, when you get a little older, you start forgetting what year you're in. They all sort of merge. Okay. Anyway, we're back with Donna. Raise your hand, Donna. That's Donna. That guy in the blue shirt, he's not Donna. He's the salesrecruiter.com. Raise your hand, sales recruiter. And the guy at a Hawaiian shirt, he had a different Hawaiian shirt last week. His name is Ryan Alphabet. Ryan Alphabet's okay. It's something Zinski. Yeah, okay.
H, the letter works.
Oh yeah, he likes to be called H, like he's a spy or James Bond or something like that. I'll get used to it, okay? Whatever. Okay. Now, Sasha didn't come back. I mean, she didn't tell me last week that she was leaving early, and that she was real mad that we didn't handle the contract. But last week, everybody, we did a detailed analysis of Rich Rosen's contract. I thought that was phenomenal. Okay.
Yes.
And we covered everything. Don't tell me we missed anything. Okay. So if you have any questions, I'm willing to take it up again anyway. Okay.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of quotes from Ivan, clang.so. Raise your hand, Ivan. Okay. I got a lot of quotes coming. He's a guy who's growing personally through recruiting, and he puts his little wisdom lessons on Twitter and Facebook all the time. And so I like to copy them out and bring them here. Okay. Anything else before I get going? Okay. I'll start right away. Okay.
Hey, Animal, here's a funny old school animal story. I just had to mute myself to sneeze. There was this one time on an animal show back when it used to be through Blog Talk Radio. And I had to blow my nose. And Animal was going on one of his long monologues and to introduce the show. So I muted myself, but I accidentally in that moment unmuted myself and then blew my nose. It was hilarious.
That's a funny story. Yeah,
loud.
What? You can sneeze on this show. Donna, unfortunately, is not feeling well. Send all your good energy to her, everybody. So she might disappear. Okay. Okay. You know what? I live in Canada, everybody, if you haven't guessed. I got an invoice from a gym in Missouri this week. And it came to my address. So I phoned her up, and the girl whose name was in it, and she answered. And I said, you know what? I didn't join your gym. It's on for $120. And she said, he just left. He just left. I don't know. But anyway, what I discovered is, I thought it was an extra Gmail address. If you have a dot in the middle, if it says recruitinganimal@gmail.com, which I own, or recruiting.animal@gmail.com, they're both the same. They're not two separate addresses. Just so I didn't know that, I want you to know. Okay, let me get the show.
You can actually do something like recruiting animal, like if you have recruitinganimal@gmail.com, and you're going to use that for your Netflix account, you can do recruiting animal plus Netflix@gmail.com, and it still comes to your recruitinganimal@gmail.com. And the interesting thing is then you can see who's actually sharing your contact information, because if you start getting rando emails, marketing emails from recruiting animal plus Netflix@gmail.com, you're going to see that it was Netflix that shared your stuff.
Okay, but there's another way. I haven't heard anyone talk of this for a long time. If you put Michael G. Cox plus @gmail.com, or the sales recruiter plus good guy at gmail.com. Don't hold your sneezes here. It's okay. You can sneeze here. Okay. And then, you post those at different places, and then you create a special folder with a filter on your Gmail account. All those junk emails, they go into that folder. Just so you know. Anyway, the show's it's going off the rails, and I had some good tech. There's 2 scanning apps I didn't know about. Scannable is for Apple, and Microsoft Lens is for Android. So I don't think you
No,
need.
you
Go
can
ahead.
use Lens. You can use Lens with Apple, but you can also use your notes. Did you know you can use your notes on your Apple phone to scan?
No, I didn't know that.
Oh, it's so exciting. I'll teach you about it. All you have to do is hold the app down. Like when you touch it, don't just click it.
Which
but
app
hold
is
it
that? Sorry.
down.
Notes.
Notes.
Okay.
So
Okay.
instead of just tapping notes quickly, this is so fun. I learned this week. So hold it down and then you're going to get a different drop down menu and one says scan document. And then all you have to do is just line it up to take the photo. And then there you go. You've scanned it and you can even add signatures. So like once you have the photo, then there's another little menu that you can do and you can put a place for people to sign, all sorts of things, all through the notes.
Does that mean you don't really need a flatbed scanner anymore? You can use your
It
phone?
does.
Is it just as good? These
Yeah,
apps, are they?
Yeah, I used Lens for a long time. But this is now that I've learned notes, that's all I'm using because it's like right there. It's all built in and
Okay.
it's all.
Anybody else want to talk about that? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
but now
well-
cameras are that good. Like before, they used to be not as good.
Yeah, but this scanning is different from taking a JPEG. It's apparently it's like a real scan. I don't know anything about that. So, okay, I read an interesting, okay, we're getting the show going. I read an interesting quote. Top recruiting teams are just as important as top engineering teams because if you don't have good recruiters, you don't have good engineers. Does that sound reasonable? Is that, some egotistic recruiter just saying something, to make himself feel good, or is it true? Anybody?
If the organization across the entire organization isn't adopting recruiting, so like your sales managers, your engineering managers, if they aren't engaged in lead or name generation as far as recruiting is concerned, then absolutely yes.
Okay, anybody else? No, pass. Thank you,
It's
Michael G.
important.
Cox.
They're
Okay.
very
I
important.
tried.
Okay.
Recruiting teams are very important.
Apparently, but I don't think anybody except another recruiter would agree with that statement, okay?
That's probably true. And as far as I was coughing during your quote. So what was it? The engineering, they're just as important as the engineering team. Is that what you
Yeah,
were saying?
well, great recruiting teams, just as important as great engineers.
Well, I mean, I don't know. That's a weird comparison. You obviously
If you don't have a
great
clear answer, I don't
engineers.
want you thinking on the show. Back when we were on audio, there was a rule, no thinking
rule?
here, okay? No thinking.
No.
You want to think before you come on here. Don't waste, like I've been wasting time, okay? Okay, we're back now. Remember, I introduced, Ivan's
Back
got
on
these
it.
philosophical things, okay? I'm going to read a few of them.
Okay.
If we're not interested in them, boom, boom. Let's just get rid of them. Let's get the show on the road. Okay, Ivan says successful recruitment means that in moments when you hate every human being alive, you still keep going. In fact,
He
when
said,
people,
except friends and family.
well,
Except
yeah,
friends-
well,
he
you know
said
what?
that.
I edited him because I can speak better in English, okay? Okay, so he says, in fact, when people treat you like trash, you should want to try harder. When success finally comes, it will cancel out the pain. Wow.
That was a
Wow.
good one.
Yeah.
Because
When they
it's true. This is like how, like, I just met a guy who's like, oh, I do all this, social media, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, before you get like a real success, it's like you have to like do a long time nothing. And the same in recruitment, same in sales. It's like a different you need like a sort of psychological damage to like, be able to normal people, they are not, because like it's like failure 99 times, and then one success, and it cancels out all the 99 uber horrible experiences. Normal people, they are not wired for that. They're not wired for, okay, every 2 weeks I get a paycheck, like I feel good. Or a coder, for example. It's like you program and you feel good almost all the time. It's like if else, blah, 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 and then the program does what you told it to do. Once in a while you have a bug which sucks and you like spend half a day fixing
I'll
it.
interrupt
That
you. You
sucks.
know what I hear you saying? Well, pretend I'm a
It's like-
psychiatrist, okay? I hear you saying, hey, everybody, I'm a Superman. I'm special. Not everybody is like me, okay? I'm much tougher, okay? I can take it. And
No,
I'm going to
I
be a
mean-
success and you're
This is
not,
not
okay?
No, that's not. That's like that's just a different like thing, right? if you have a job like coding where it's successes all the time and failures once in a while, that's mentally taxing in a different way than if it's like failure, suffering, and pain all the time, and like once a month there's a success.
Yeah,
You know?
okay. Let me just go. I'm gonna
That's
get a little
funny.
support. Look at what you said. You know, there's moments when you hate every human being alive. On the one hand, I admire you for admitting you feel that way, because I feel that way sometimes too. But you feel that way a lot. You're saying that that comes with the territory. If you're a recruiter, you're going to hate a lot of people. Is it true?
Yeah, I mean, I got this quote
It's
from other
not because,
recruiters.
but no, the point is, it's not because they're, you know, you're not getting business or you're not getting recruits. It's because you find them unpleasant. That's why. Is that the reason you hate so many people?
No, the work is just unpleasant because like it pays well because it's unpleasant. Like it's like a law of
Okay,
nature.
but why do you
almost,
hate
like,
the people so much?
I'm not hating the people so
You
much.
said
like,
you said
generally-
you hate every human being alive.
Oh,
Don't lie to me, okay?
for like a couple of minutes for sure. Like after a bad experience, like I would say I feel that way. Yeah,
You
but
know,
it goes
look how
away.
he's playing it down. You know, Donna at
But it's
least
true.
said, okay, no, he didn't say everyone. His family was excluded. Now he's
And
saying,
friends.
okay, for a minute or two, I hate people, but not really. Okay,
Because you
I'm a
don't-
hater. I am a
Generalization.
hater. And you know what? When I was younger, I thought hating people was bad. But now if someone screws me, I kind of indulge my fantasy. I wish that a car hit them. Okay. I don't
No, it's
I
like that,
don't think
issue-
it's good for me to say, no, I'm above it all. I'm not. Okay. That's why I said I admire you at the beginning. You're at least you're honest about I feel
Yeah, I
hatred.
mean, of course, if something terrible happens to you, then psychologically, the next person who's a complete stranger comes to you, and you assume like bad things about them as well. It's like
Okay,
nothing.
moving on to your next words of wisdom. Okay. You said
Hey,
never
by the
say-
way, in one thing I will agree with is in recruiting and in sales, and I've been in both, you are going to get a lot of rejection, a lot. And then recruiting, you get much more rejection because in sales, if you're selling software or a service or a product, more often than not, the product doesn't reject the client. And in recruiting, you have individuals that are constantly rejecting opportunities. And it's that's fine. It's just more difficult and more annoying.
Okay,
Mhm.
but you know, okay, well,
Something you got to get used to.
okay, but
And hourly individuals that are producing widgets, they are not in a role that has them encountering this much rejection this often.
yeah, but this is like what you go to the movies to see, someone on an adventure, you know, he doesn't know how he's going to solve the problem. This is a problem solving profession.
Yeah, and if
profession.
it wasn't rewarding, we would probably be doing something
everybody, all the recruiters say they love it. At least Ivan says,
Nah.
I hate it, okay, but it's making a
It's-
lot of money. But everybody else on Facebook says, I love it. I love being a recruiter. I love helping people find new jobs. Oy.
No, first of all, they don't find people new jobs. They find people for new jobs.
Yeah, okay.
There are moments you love it. Like just today when I got to deliver an offer and the lady screamed on the phone because she's so excited, you know, like then you love it. Like this is the best job ever. Like I can't believe everyone's not doing this. What a great feeling. This is awesome. You know, she's happy with me. And then another lady writes and says, can I send your information to everyone? You've been so great to work with. I'm like, of course you can. I mean, like those moments are great. But like the week preceding that has not been so great. And I might have been in Ivan's pit a day or two. But you know, that's the thing. It's like it's a roller coaster.
H, wake up. You're the new guy. 10 months. What do you think?
I mean, ultimately, I think what I was getting at is sort of the entrepreneurial mindset that is required to be in sales, be in recruiting, to know that you're going to have to, like, as Michael said, to put up with all this rejection, you know, and I can see how in moments when you're deeply frustrated, yeah, you feel like you hate people.
Now, the thing is,
Um,
what I was complaining to Ivan about, and I won't go on too long if anyone's actually watching this, okay? I'm interested myself. There's a difference between rejection, I don't want your service, and abuse. And I think he's talking about abuse. Go ahead, sneeze. You're bothering me by holding it in. I can see you, okay?
I'm coughing. Do you want to hear the
Cough,
sound?
I don't care. Okay,
want all this
he's
crud?
talking
You wanna
about
hear the-
abuse. He's always talking about how people lie to him and stuff like that, okay?
Actually, like the most, actually, it's not that. I mean, if somebody like does bad things to like benefit themselves, I actually get it. Like, it's not like what really annoys me, is when people do damage like others, but also themselves. Like acts where it's like complete destruction. At least in the first
Are you
case,
talking
you
about
have-
like burning a bridge and
yeah, like in the first
not
case, it's at
returning
least-
calls?
at least the first thing is like value transfer, right? So the burglar steals something, and like it's that's like how the universe sometimes works. It sucks, but I logically get it how this can happen. But like in recruiting, it's like no, like you're like blah blah blah. You didn't like do this, and then it's like they don't get the opportunity because like I mean and you as a recruiter don't get the placement fee, and the
In
company
English,
doesn't
it's
get the
called
first.
shooting yourself in the foot, moving on.
Exactly.
But
So
it's not
there's
shooting
nothing which
yourself in the
annoys me
foot.
more.
Let me play the other side of this, which is you're concerned about people ghosting you because that can be very annoying. But from the perspective of the candidate, they only see that recruiter as transactional because that recruiter very transactionally, sorry, recruiting animal, very transactionally only talked to them about one job. And from the onset, they're looking at you just in terms of that one job. And when they're no longer interested, they completely ghost you and you're left high and dry wondering, dude, why aren't you calling me back? And now you start sending messages and text and calls and voicemail and they're not answering you. They block you on LinkedIn. All of that stuff happens out of your own desperation and the way we set ourselves up as transactional. And it happens, but the candidate is thinking, I was just thinking, they only talked about that one job. I'm never going to talk to them again. There's plenty other candidates. I'm sorry, recruiters and
Michael T. Cox, you're not on one of your famous podcasts here, okay? Doesn't he sound like he's saying, but she said she loved me, okay?
That's the way people are setting
and
it
now
up.
she didn't call me back, okay? Well, geez, she's not taking my calls.
And you don't think recruiters are pissed off about that kind of stuff? That's what he's complaining about.
Well, but you're complaining about, it sounds like you're talking about yourself. And the point is, but you're blaming me for saying that recruiting is transactional. You're saying that there's actually more to it. You can have a relationship with this person where they're going to care about you. They're never going to ghost you. It's business. It's not a relationship. They don't love you, okay?
They don't.
You're just a tool for them.
Yes, I am. But the great thing is, if you set it up properly, they're going to call you back and say, nah, I wasn't interested in that. And this is why.
And how do you set it up properly?
You have a conversation about not just one job. So, Ivan, tell me about your career and where you're trying to get to. Okay, great. I ain't got nothing for you. But when I do, and then
what
you have that.
Doesn't do that. Okay.
Every
You make it sound like that's so special.
I think it is special. Like I think many don't. I mean, many just like don't put in the extra effort to build the relationship. So this is
because there are
true.
far too many recruiters that still call up and say, without even knowing who the crap they're talking to or what they're trying to accomplish in their right now or future career, say, I've got the perfect opportunity for you. Like, what? We haven't even spoken and you're saying things like that?
I wonder how many people actually do that. But wait. I mentioned Rich Rosen this week, and that's cornerstonesearch.com. Raise your hand, okay? And the guy with alopecia, and he
Rich Rosen's name.
That ain't mine.
and see, your comeback is, listen, animal, I could buy you and sell you. I don't give a shit what you think about me. I'm not here to impress you. Okay. But I said, Rich Rosen said, and they said, you know Rich Rosen? I said, oh yeah, we're like this. Okay. So
we're like this. Yeah. I'm over here.
Like this. Come on.
I'm over here.
You want to impress people. You know Michael G. Cox? I've known him for years.
Nobody asks that.
No,
You'd
you
be
know what? I placed
surprised.
the guy, remember? Michael, I placed the guy that knew you. He's like, you guys should partner.
Yeah. Okay. The other, no, we're still on Ivan. I didn't know I was going to give him this
That was
much
kind of a-
time. Ivan's,
that was kind of a
Rich,
turn.
we're talking about Ivan's philosophical learnings from his business life. Okay.
Oh,
But
boy.
I'm going to agree with him about something, although I really hate this. Ivan said,
You don't even like to agree with yourself. God.
okay, yeah, I don't agree with myself. I'm a conflicted person. If anybody knows me, they know it. Okay. Do not ever say anything that could be even slightly considered negative or offensive in writing. Okay. He said, if you say it, at least if you say it on the phone, you have a chance to correct any misunderstandings or apologize. I would translate that into never lose your temper. I was just talking about how I get mad. I hate people. I want something bad to happen to them, but God forbid I should actually say it, okay? Because then I'm the bad guy. I'm the not, okay? They can use it against me, especially if I write it down. No matter how, sorry, I'm making a speech. I've seen recruiters say the most outrageous things on Twitter, and I want to get in there and fight with them, but I know I will come out looking bad. Ivan, is that what you were talking about?
I tried
Tell me,
to
no,
highlight,
Animal, you've got it all wrong. That's not what I meant.
just the written stuff is so easy nowadays, like with 10 text message apps and like email and all that, and people are used to that. And I catch myself, I get lazy, and like people that I don't know, have no relationship with, I like ask like a question that is like shot from the hip, right? And I got like a super negative. It's like the
Give me an
candidate was
example.
like, no, I'm not
Hey,
gonna.
okay, you wrote about this. Can't you think of one example? Imagine you're
sure.
in an interview.
So it was like the person was like, hello, I'm in Switzerland. I want to do fully remote. And I was like, man, I get it, but like the really good jobs, they always have this on-site mixture. And this is something that, I mean, it's also a good thing because you can't be replaced by like.
Is that what
remote
you call
people.
negative?
Yeah, that's negative enough. I would say
Does
something.
anybody
hey,
want to
look,
comment
should
on that? That's just a straightforward answer.
It was more negative.
You
I
didn't
said-
say,
I
hey,
said,
dummy.
why?
Okay,
I said,
get
why should
real,
somebody-
wake up.
Okay. I said, why should
All right.
somebody pay you fully remote if there is in Europe places where it's a fifth of the price? And the person was so offended by that. He's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Like, okay, I don't want to talk to you, bye. And like, I get it because it sounds very bad in writing. But the thing is, in a call, I would have be able to elaborate. It's like, of course, because you speak Swiss German, you do have advantages and blah, blah, blah. And in email, I couldn't say that. So this person got a message from me that is like complete different than what I intended to say, because I could just send like 2 sentences, which actually do not represent my actual opinion on that topic. But if the person reads that and immediately blocks me, how can I elaborate on that? That's the example. In the phone call, it would have went completely different. In this case, I had to write like a long email again explaining, hey, look, this is what I meant, blah, 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 but the person might have not read that. And
Anybody
the
else?
relationship is
I like your
broken.
example.
and
Okay, I'm cutting you
unfixable.
off. I like your example now. It was very straightforward and honest. It was maybe just a little too blunt for that guy. Okay. Is anybody want to comment on that? Don't
Yeah,
say
he should have
things.
had the telephone conversation.
Yeah. Anybody else?
I agree
Anybody?
with him.
Oh,
Well,
get on the phone.
When somebody
Is
gets
that
really
the
pissed
answer?
off,
Get on the
that guy got,
phone.
when that guy got really pissed off, you could tell that you hit a nerve. And when that person reacted that way, then you're tapping into something that they're really afraid to lose, like the whole work from home thing. And people are really sensitive about that right now.
You know what, Michael G. Cox, I think that's probably true, but also I think it's relates more closely to something you said a little while ago, rejection. Lots of people can't take it. And he was rejecting the guy. He said, we don't need you. We can go to the Philippines and get someone who's better than you for a tenth of the price. Okay. What an
Yes.
insult. That's no respect for me. It means I'm garbage, okay? That's what happened with this small, subtle remark. That's from Ivan. What a wonderful example of
Well,
people's
when you
sensitivity,
share
Ivan.
things that are in contrast to their ideal, then yeah, people get pissed off. And right now,
Look
the
at
ideal
Rich.
is working
Look at
from home.
Rich. Rich doesn't do that. He gets on the phone and says, you're an idiot, okay? And it's just kind of musical the way he puts it. I've complimented him on it before. He doesn't say
Yeah,
you're
but
an
not
idiot the
everybody
way-
takes it very well.
Yes, they
Everyone's-
do.
Very few. I can count on one hand the amount of people get annoyed. If that. If it
Or
maybe
they tell you they're annoyed.
Well, you can tell in their voice and how they end up still going around back, get them into a process. Sometimes you just got to get these people to corral themselves in, like Animal does by, cutting people off. You don't get mad at it. You just kind of, all right, listen, he's trying to teach me something. Well,
Rich says, look, I've been telling
A
this
lot
guy
of
he's an
people get
idiot for
pissed off about the
25 years,
animal.
okay? He keeps coming
That's
back. It
true.
can't be that bad.
that's
Okay?
because recruiters are sensitive. That's the problem.
H, you're so quiet. You can say, I have nothing to say. I'm learning. I'm sucking it all up. Or if you have something, this is your opportunity.
What you just said. And
thanks.
as Rich just noted, I'm going to get quickly corralled. So I'd rather just listen and learn.
Okay.
Oh,
What about the sick girl?
sensitive.
What about the sick
Sick
girl? Got something to
girl.
say?
No, I think
The sickly one.
the sickly one. No, I think that's right. And that was a lesson. I said to Ivan, that was a lesson that my mom taught me years and years ago, back when we would write little paper notes and pass them in class. And she would say, don't put anything in writing that you don't want to see on the newspaper the next day. Of course, now it's even faster and it's immediate. And so you just have to be careful. I write things all the time and then delete and don't send, because I'm like, nope, can't say that. Can't comment on that. Nope. And so I think you have to edit anything that's in writing. Just constantly think about it because it could go anywhere, anytime, at any
Okay,
speed.
thank you. She's a sick
Yeah.
girl and she's gone too far and it sure it don't matter anyway. Okay, they're gonna, Facebook won't post this because I'm
Yeah,
singing.
they will.
Oh,
Your
yeah,
singing ain't
okay.
that good.
Okay, you know
I don't
what?
know if
I
they
have
might do
actually other
anything.
things that I'm more interested in talking about, but I actually went to that webinar, bigbiller.ca yesterday. Anybody else? Nobody else went, right?
Mm-mm.
No, okay. She's
I was
lucky.
doing this
She
thing when I
wanted
was,
me to be
working.
a co-panelist. She's so lucky. They barely got everything in for an hour. I found it really interesting, but I disagreed with almost everything that was said.
Wow.
And here's the thing that bugged me the most. This is the kind of thing I would fight about. She had a guest, a PhD, doctor somebody or other, who said, she was talking about empathy. She said, I have to believe what you are saying. Okay. That's some kind of HR baloney. Okay. You believe, and then Christine, actually, who was smart. She said, I don't have to believe what you believe, but I have to believe that you believe it. What does that mean? That's
It means
not
you need
empathy.
it means you have a headache. Good Lord.
And what does it mean for a recruiter that, okay, you hate me, you think the job is terrible, the company you saw on Glassdoor, that they're evil. Just take a second though. I believe that, you might have a basis for saying that, but let's look at another opinion. Is that empathy? Does anybody use empathy in their recruiting?
I think
with some-
trying to be, just understand someone's perspective and respect that, to help, getting back to Ivan's point and to Michael's as well. When you get people on the phone, you want to get to know them and what really motivates them. So that way you can help them find what they're looking
So
for.
if they say something that's obviously not true about the company, okay, and you don't say, that's nonsense, okay, you're an idiot. You just
Well,
don't
no,
say,
you
you're
can
not
still-
that blunt.
You can still say that, I think, but acknowledging the person's perspective first opens
No,
them
if
up
you're saying you're
psychologically
wrong,
to have
okay,
your-
let's ask the
You can
master.
do it. No, you can do
Vince.
it. You can say that must have really surprised you to read that. Well, let me tell you something that might surprise you even more. The reality is blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
Like
but-
you can
because-
acknowledge and
look,
correct.
Yeah.
People always quote Glassdoor, which is the bastion of stupidity, and it's always like, well, that's great. I mean, if someone puts their, I always tell them, listen, when someone puts their name onto a comment, then I'll buy into it when I know both sides of the story. But if you're just going to buy one guy who probably didn't show up for work and got fired for it, and then would just bash the company, I mean, good for you, but it's not really a smart way to actually run your life.
Rich, I'm the candidate, and I'll say, listen, Richie Rich, that's a self-serving remark.
It's
I
not.
can dismiss somebody because he didn't put his name on
You
it.
can't. All
okay?
right. So then you say, great. So, when you have a complaint, you complain about a restaurant, your name's on it, usually on most of these sites, right? On Yelp or whatever. You can go back and, someone can respond to you. You really can. Glassdoor, everyone just has one-sided stories. Companies really can't respond on Glassdoor other than saying, oh, we're sorry that happened, but like Glassdoor, no one goes and puts a good review usually. They're all, like 99% of them are bad reviews.
Yes, but the good reviews are the ones that were like, hey, I need you to write something good about
Exactly.
this.
But I mean,
Because we're getting hammered on Glassdoor by that
Yeah.
last person. And so I was responsible for having to do all the replies to Glassdoor when I was over at Xerox. And I said,
was a
look, that's
full-time
not going to
job.
work. If we start replying to these, things are going to get ugly because you're going to have that person. I said, look,
Back
I
and
have
forth, baby.
5 email addresses that I can think of right now. I probably have more. People are going to go and start using every individual email address to leave 5 horrible responses to this.
Yep.
It's not good. Just let Glassdoor go and leave it alone, because our rating went down significantly once we started responding to this. And even though we tried paying Glassdoor, because they said, oh, well, you can own your entire page, didn't help. It was ridiculous. Sorry,
Okay.
I hate Glassdoor.
Okay, I thought the 2 teachers, former teachers, were going to be the empathy experts here and say things that, don't intimidate somebody, yeah,
You
listen to
supposed
them, and
be
then
real. Empathy isn't just agreeing. Empathy isn't that you listen to
Understand
someone.
it.
and
but
tell
it's
them
not
they're
putting them on the
correct.
defensive like I like to, okay, or like
Well,
Rich might,
You're
okay.
special. You're a little bit special. You don't have
No,
to put
Rich
people in
doesn't put them on the
place.
defensive. Yeah, he's shaking his head. Okay, you know why?
No,
Because he builds trust.
Animal, you act every week. You act like I'm this big jackass to people. I mean,
You're my
clearly
hero, just like we all admire it. Okay, that's
But
how we
clear-
want to be. People
but clear-
punch guys out like
Listen,
Batman.
there's
You have zeroed in on probably like 10% of the conversations that he has, and those 10% were like, no, look, this is
Yeah.
the truth. You're
Those
doing
are
it
the most
wrong. and he
important.
sets it
That's the
straight.
most important skill.
But
That's the
listen,
most
listen,
important
listen.
skill. Handling the bullshit. Okay, isn't that what?
That's what we do every day. Dealing with, it's like Mike and I deal with sales guys. Sales guys, all they do is lie. All right. I mean, I literally have people have told me their mother has died multiple times, their grandmother's died multiple times, and I got it all in my notes for 26 years. I mean, those guys like, really again? I mean, you those are the
How
people
many
you
lives
call.
does that woman have?
Yeah, I mean, seriously, I didn't know you were married to a cat. It's great, or your mom was a cat. But it's I give people very blunt, honest truth, but it helps them, and most 99.9% of the people appreciate it. And honestly, that 0.1 that doesn't, I don't really care. They're usually prima donnas that aren't going to get the job anyway because they're a jackass that no one wants to work with.
They call
So-
themselves rainmakers. That was
I had
always
a guy called himself a humble warrior.
so
All
good.
right, he was humble because he's only made his number once in the last 6 years.
He's
I
been
didn't-
humbled.
I never understood the warrior part of it because the guy sucked, but he
He
thought
keeps
was
trying.
fantastic.
He keeps
Yeah,
getting up.
exactly. He doesn't give up. I mean, he just keeps getting fired from his jobs or consulting assignments. Sorry. It was humble warrior is the best one.
I love it. Yeah, the worst one was a guy that was talking. He was always referring to himself in third person,
No, I love those.
and he always called himself a rainmaker because I make it rain, baby.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring the clients. Okay, let's talk real. No, I'm the rainmaker. You just tell me what the offer is gonna be. It's like, well, you're not
Yeah.
gonna get one.
Michael's getting angry. Come on.
It was annoying. Sorry.
Can't hear me.
Now we can hear you.
You can hear me?
Yeah.
No. Huh?
Yeah.
Now you screwed him up.
What?
What?
Okay, hey, Rich, you take over for now until we hear Animal again.
All right. Even better.
All right.
All right.
Speakers. Can you hear me through the? Can you hear the speakers of the show?
No.
Like,
Can you guys hear him?
Yes.
Come on, Ryan.
that's not what I mean. You can.
Ryan, that's
can
the
hear
new guy. Come on. But
But-
Animal House, you can hear him. It's always no.
Am I play when you talk? Am I playing the speakers back into the show?
No, you're good now.
No.
It's okay.
Yes.
Kanehora, as they say. Okay.
Who's a whore? What?
Yeah. Don't worry about it. Okay. Whose dog is barking?
That would be my dog.
Okay. Look,
One
but
of my dogs.
before we went on, before people started criticizing my take on Rich, what I admire about him is the way he handles this issue we started with. He wasn't here. Ivan says he hates everybody in the world because they mistreat him sometimes. And I said, so And he himself said the essential skill is being able to deal with that. And that's what Rich can do. He doesn't take that kind of bullshit from people. And not only that, he doesn't have to suck it up either. He throws it back in their face and turns them around or kisses them off. Am I right or wrong about that? Am I wrong for liking that and honing in on that?
No, listen, that's how you have to run. You have to have respect for your business. Like I had a client a couple of days ago. He was mad because a candidate didn't work out. We replaced him. You know, he didn't, even though they broke half the covenants of the contract, we still replaced the guy. And the guy's like, well, is this guy going to be warranted too? I was like, honestly, no. I'm like, I think we've been a good partner. We gave you these discounts. We extended this, that, and the other thing. And I'm like, let me know when you're going to take responsibility for your hires. And then I just didn't say anything. And then he's like,
Was this on the phone or?
This is on the phone. Yeah, it was the phone.
But like, when you say stuff like that, okay, there will be no guarantee. You have to write it in an email too, right?
I don't have to write anything. It's already in my contract.
There's a
contract
line
says-
I've never heard before. Wait a sec. There's a line. I'm glad I conked out because I know I'm talking too much today. But Ryan, I want, as you as the new guy, I want you to, you've got an opportunity to learn this at the beginning of your career, not when you're ancient like me. When are you going to start taking responsibility for your hires? I've never heard anybody use those words before. Did I get that right, Rich? Is that what you said?
100%.
And the person didn't go nuts?
No, he started to, and then he caught himself, and he's like, if two people, then he literally said, if two people leave that I hired for the same role, then they're right. There's a bigger problem.
This is why it's called recruitment consulting.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like, honestly, what are you going to do? Replace the guy every time something goes wrong? It's your fault again? I mean, like, eventually there's got to be a problem with the hire, right? With the company, the
I had a
product.
client,
Sometimes things just happen.
I had a client at the end of last year, made a placement, got paid. He went on and he did not make it past 90 days. Rich, by the way, sorry, I have a 90-day, sorry. I'm working on it, man. But the guy,
dental social worker.
the guy wasn't working out. He gets fired for performance reasons. I have to refill. I'm working on the refill, and same thing. They asked, so is this person going to have a 90-day guarantee? I said, absolutely not. No, it's a one time. I'm not going to sit here and every 3 months refill the position for the same fee. Happy to do it for another fee. So had another one. He had gone past the 90 days, and they said, we're not liking that guy. Can you replace him? Absolutely. Same fee agreement, right? And they're like, no, this would be a replacement. No, it's not a replacement. This is a new engagement. And sometimes they struggle with that. And that client is actually probably not going to be a client again.
Yeah. Okay.
You get
guys
to the
are so
point,
lucky
sometimes
that
some
I'm
clients,
not-
you're too
Go ahead.
expensive.
Go ahead.
You're too expensive for them. And for a little while, I felt really bad and then stopped feeling bad.
And then you paid your mortgage,
Yeah. They didn't discount that 1 month.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. If someone says in her resume that she's a problem solver, do you ask her to justify that? Or do you just assume it's fluff and I don't give a hoot about what she says? It's
Just
nonsense.
fluff.
Everybody understands it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
I like to ask them and they get mad, okay? I'm a heads down worker problem. So what do you mean by that? Can you prove it to me?
Quick learner.
Anybody
I
else?
like that one. Quick
Well,
learner.
if all they have is that kind of language and I see the resume, then what I tell them is we need to have some things in here that are quantifiable before I forward this to anybody. And I have them work on thinking of things that they can quantify and just make them rework it a little bit. But if they have quantifiable things with a little fluff, I don't.
Well,
care about
let's come to that actual one, like problem solver, these hackneyed terms, and everybody's always looking for problem solvers. So I'm a problem solver, but they don't offer the proof. Anybody would, harass them about it?
Yeah, you got it. I mean, it's a nothing statement. It's like saying I'm a humble warrior. I'm like, what the hell does that mean?
But Rich, you're not going to go after a person on that. You're going to focus more on what have you done in sales?
Well, that's the same. It's the same question. It's the same. You're getting the same to the heart of it. What have you really done? I mean, I tell my clients all the time, I need to know what you sold, who you sold, and how you did, because that's all my clients care about. And so every job you're working for, you got to find those 3 or 4 points that all your clients care about. They don't care about all the other garbage. And most recruiters waste too much time going through all that other garbage, which is why they can't be as,
Okay, so you said, I'm not clear what you said. Okay. You say, look, I'm not interested in you saying you're a problem solver. You got that down here.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'll just tell them, listen, great. What's that mean? As Donna said, it's like, give me some detail. I'm like,
No, but then you said you'll ignore it. I don't give a hoot about that.
Well, you
stuff.
are. You're ignoring it in a nice way. You're basically saying, fantastic. I still need this information. It's a conversation.
You're gonna be focused on the stuff that your client needs, and problem solver is probably not going to be something that you're going to spit out when you're talking to a client about a candidate.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly it. Why?
Nobody else. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, in our client services roles, being able to problem solve is a big thing. But again, I wouldn't say, oh, she's a great problem solver. I would be, she was able to
that's
restructure
fluff,
the
yeah.
teams to increase revenue by 25% last quarter. Do you know what I mean? Like I would want what problem was there and how did they solve it? I wouldn't say she's a problem solver. That's what I mean by quantifiable.
Yes. Put some
Here's
numbers.
something that I found. Somebody's talking. No,
No, it's always a problem with if you say problem solver or this is good or this is bad, it's too broad. For everybody, it means something entirely different. If you give facts, then you already have the information inside the fact, it's like,
No, I don't know, but I'm going to move on. Okay. Passive candidates are the most vulnerable to counteroffers. I thought that was a very interesting observation because you're phoning them up out of the blue. If you're a headhunter, you're going after someone who didn't apply for a job. Half of them say, look, I'm happy. Most of them, in fact, say, I'm happy where I am. Okay. And you tempt them to look at something else. So when their current company comes back and say, okay, you're already happy here, we're going to make it even a little happier. They're really vulnerable. Okay. Because they like it there already. Why take a gamble on something new? Unless it's, absolutely one of those outrageous offers. Does anybody agree with that the passive candidates are the most vulnerable to counteroffers?
How could you disagree with it?
Well,
Yes, I agree.
I think the most vulnerable ones are the ones that are really just wanting money and they're all about money. Because if they find a way that they can make more money where they are, I think they're the ones that are most vulnerable. I always want to hear something else other than I want to make more money.
Absolutely.
Brilliant.
But usually those are also the passive candidates. So
I don't know.
I mean,
I
if
feel like
you're 100% right. I mean, those who are just moving for money will break your heart. But I find most of those guys are not there. If you're only moving for money, you're not really actively looking, typically.
ours are right now, but that's because in our market, the salaries got inflated really fast. And as they hear about what their friends are making,
What do you guys place again?
I'm working in client services roles and medical communications.
Mhm.
And so it's a long story that Animal doesn't want to hear because
Right.
it'll be too long.
That's right.
So I'll
You got to
just
go
stop
on
there.
one of those podcasts. If you want to talk like that, you got to go get Michael G. Cox, introduce you to some of
Okay.
his other buddies. Okay.
All right, so that's all I have to say about that.
Okay. Here's on this show, you got to say, look, if I say something, I'm going to be attacked for it. Okay. And I have to defend myself. And that's going to make me a better person in the end, because I'm not going to be some lazy slob. Just
But I'm a
to think.
problem solver.
Yeah.
I'm a
yeah,
problem
right.
solver.
There you
I'm
go.
a humble warrior.
And I
I'm a
wasn't
humble
saying,
worker.
by the way, see, this is what Ivan, again, he's so smart. I didn't send it to her in writing. So I'm going to say, I wasn't saying, Donna, that you're not smart or that you're lazy or anything like that. No, not at all. Don't take it the wrong way, like his sensitive candidates. Okay, here's something I found interesting as well. And look, you guys have the right, as you well know, okay, but you're not doing it today, to say, you found this interesting. I don't find it interesting. Okay, move on. Okay, but here's something I found interesting. This guy said on Facebook, I've
I
decided
don't find
to.
that interesting.
Yeah. Okay. I've decided to return. To recruiting. My last recruiting role was in 2019. Okay, that's only 3 years ago. He says, for the past year, I've held a role as people operations specialist. Sounds like HR to me. I don't know what it is. Okay. He says, this is the interesting part. I know a lot has changed in the recruiting field since I was a recruiter. what courses or resources should I take to freshen up my skills? Have things changed that much in the last 3 years? Does anybody think so?
The
Haven't
market
been
is
doing it
hot.
long.
He means resources, tools, methods of recruiting. I wish H would. He hasn't been in more a year. I wish he started giving the ideas. Does anybody? I don't think anything radically changed. I don't think so. Anybody? That's a no. Okay, no one found it interesting. Okay, so has anybody else got a topic they want to talk about?
No,
Okay,
that,
got it in mind?
that could be interesting, but if he didn't figure out how to do recruiting, I don't know how long his tenure was in recruiting prior, but
Yeah.
ain't nothing changed.
Okay, good. And I got a question. I didn't write it down, but I was thinking about it. I was going to ask Rich. He's got a new guy. I won't mention his name. I assume the last time he said he's still with them. What are you encountering in bringing a smart, well-educated young person into the recruiting role, and you're training them? What interesting challenges have you found, or things that you think
man.
we might find interesting?
Nothing. I mean, the kid's trying really hard.
Move closer to the mic.
Oh, good Lord. Can you hear now?
Yeah.
Or you're
Right.
fine the first time.
Yeah, I was gonna say. No, he's trying really hard.
That's not much of a compliment.
Well,
But what was he ever a recruiter prior to this?
no, he was an inside sales guy. That's the surprising part. So he's trying really hard. He's just having a hard time getting the delivery down. We deliver with a little passion and energy and sell a story, not just tell a story.
Oh, you mean like on a submittal
No, on an actual cold call. I'm actually,
to a client or a candidate?
candidate. We got more clients to know what to do with. It's all candidate. Yeah. So
So actually, Rich, can you act that out for us? His way versus your way?
his is just very monotone. Too many words. Not transitioning properly to the next phase of a conversation. Not being curious. Not asking the right questions. Like he's listening to reply, not to understand. And it's a huge difference. I mean, you got to talk with confidence. It's like, is there anything worse than going to shake someone's hand? They got this like dead fish handshake. I hate that. Oh my God, it just creeps me out. It's like just jelly. And that's what a weak cold call to me is like that. I'd rather you read your script with some emotion than freewheel it and sound monotone, or freewheel it and just jarble so many words together. No one knows what the hell you're talking about, or leaving off little words like in or the, or, it's like, changes the whole context of the conversation.
Yeah, you know what? That's so general. I wish.
Oh my God, how is that general?
I asked you a question. I said, can you show us exactly what he says and then how you would say it? And you
He
don't have
wants a
to.
demonstration. He wants role play.
You want to do a role play? Now
Yes.
your usual type of role play, but you want to do a regular.
Do it. So like beep, beep, beep. Hello. This is Ivan Gulenko. Who is there?
Hey, so I haven't done these in a long time. All right,
Where's Amy when we need her?
Exactly. All right. So, all right. Hey, this is Rich. I'm an executive recruiter with Cornerstone. You may not know if you saw my email or not, but did I get you at a good time? We got a couple opportunities we're working on. You got a couple seconds?
Yeah, sure.
All right, great. Well, great. Let me ask you a question. You open us to making a change?
I don't know. Like I'm okay where I am. It's a good company.
Things are going well?
Uh-huh.
Awesome. Well, listen, I mean, things are going well. Let me ask you, who do you know? I mean, I've got a great opportunity in the DevOps world. I mean, awesome change management company. They are literally going to revolutionize in the space. Top reps are cranking out 400K their first year on the job. I mean, if not for you, who do you think we should talk to?
Right now, I don't know. Like I have more friends like in enterprise.
No, what would have happened at that point is hold up. What was that?
Hey, Mike plays the sales guys. He gets the game. So it's engineer guys. They're going to give you a hard time just to give you a hard time.
All right. So now be your new guy.
Okay.
Be the new guy.
So the new guy.
Ring,
Okay. Hello. This is Ivan Gulenko. Who's there?
Hey, this is Zach. This is Rich. I'm an executive recruiter with Cornerstone. I can't do it how he does it. We'll screw my whole mind up. But it's go. I'll try to do it how he does it, because I'm trying to have listen to these calls to help him out. So, go ahead. Yeah.
So-
So, hey, listen, I'm not sure if you saw my email. We've got a couple of opportunities. Thought you may be a great fit for. You got a second?
Yeah, sure. I have a moment.
Excellent. Hey, well, let's see how I would do it is not how
He can't do it. He's not an actor. That's why those
He can't
actors
be
are
bad
crazy.
at it.
Yeah.
They put them into somebody else's mind.
Yeah,
They're
honestly,
they get into someone else's mind and it hurts them.
it
Rich
does
doesn't
because he
need
screws
that.
up the right way to
Let's
do
try
it.
to practice being bad.
He's not a
think-
method actor.
I
No.
think I could be bad at it. I think I could do it.
I might be able to lend something to this conversation
Yeah,
finally, because
you
I'm
got
so
it.
new, right? Like Rich can't get himself back into that old mindset.
He was never
As
there.
someone
That's
who
why he's a
started
superstar.
And
Okay.
tried to read a script and all that stuff. I knew I was being flat.
Mhm.
Like, because they weren't my words, it wasn't genuine, it wasn't coming from me. So once I was able to kind of just keep the key things that I needed from that script and just get away from it completely and just be authentic and be present, be on the phone and be listening. Like as Rich said, listen to understand, don't listen to reply. Don't wait for your turn to talk.
Mhm.
Be engaged in the conversation. That's really half the game, probably more than half the game.
Agree, especially at your stage. And that's the thing. He's trying so hard. The guy's making more dials than anyone. And, sends great, he actually gets great email. He's actually gets better email response than I get, quite honestly. He just cannot flip the switch to be relaxed and comfortable. He's so worried about getting all this data dump out, and it's killing him. Like, he's like if someone says they're interested, great, we've got this opportunity. He rips through the 5-minute spiel in the company instead of saying, hey, well, great, we've got several opportunities. I think you may have an interest in it. Let me get a little detail from you. And, you got to own the conversation. You got to control the conversation. And he still has these happy years and just so excited someone's going to talk to him, and he gives him everything he knows. So I'm
I still do that. I still do this mistake. I would say I'll still sometimes say things that are maybe totally irrelevant.
Well, yeah, he's trying to build rapport and he's trying to do all this other stuff, but it's like it's not at the right spots in the conversation. And I honestly, I'm at a loss on how to get him over this hurdle, to be honest with you, because he's trying super hard. Like I've never had anyone try as hard as he does. I mean, the guy's making hundreds of calls a week. And he's got some good people. I got one person in 3 interviews that he talked to. So he's
Hire Donna to coach him. I mean, she's new
One of
and
the
she's got
dangers
it.
is selling the right opportunity to the wrong person, or selling to the wrong person, and it just, you have to know that person, at least get a better understanding of where they're at, why they're even talking to you.
Yeah, you shouldn't lead
What are they
in.
interested?
Yeah, you don't call with just one opportunity in mind. You call with like, hey, I got an opportunity, but it may not be the right opportunity for you. I always tell candidates, listen, when they just want another company, I'm like, well, which one? I got 50 of them, and then you have them, narrow down. What do you really want? What's going to excite you? What's going to be, interesting to you? Why move? If there's no reason to move, all right, good for you. I'm glad you're happy. Maybe you know someone. And then you give them the spiel and suddenly they're interested, because no one's ever that happy, so, but that, when you just give that data dump, or you just say it flat and without emotion, or you just run all the words together, or you leave the ins and the these out.
And then I think I called BD people when I first started, and one of the things I think that can throw you off too when you're new is so often they'll just say, tell me what you got.
Yeah.
And that could throw, I would imagine that could throw him off, and like, oh, where do I go from there? Here's all I have.
So honestly, we practice that. And when someone says that, you just say, great, well, listen, before I just give you a bunch of companies, let me find out what's really the right thing.
And I don't have time for that. I'm busy. I've got a lot going on. Just tell me what you have. Send me LinkedIn. If I'm interested, I'll do it. If I'm not, I don't have a lot of time.
Yeah, listen, I mean, if you're serious about it, and that's great. And they do. And they say that. And then you just say, listen, if you're serious about making a change, let's talk. But we can talk later tomorrow, we can talk next week. You tell me. But if you're not that serious, it's okay. But I do have an opportunity in mind for you that's blow him out of the water. But hey, here's a Magic Quadrant company, profitable, pre-IPO, leader in the innovator category. I mean, top guys are doing $500,000. If that doesn't interest you, hey, I get it. If that's not going to do it for you, who do you know that's going to?
I bet you that's that piece right there where he's struggling to be able. And this is one of the things I've told our boss. when we have new people. Sometimes they don't have that big view. Like, you know all your clients, you know what they have, you know what might interest. There's so much information you can pull from, where when you need to make a turn, you can do it quickly. And when they're coming in and they only have this much real knowledge, it's much more difficult to have those quick
Agreed.
responses.
I agree. And that's why when you're new,
Takes time.
it's fantastic to be able to, well, no, it's when you're new, it's fantastic. I mean, I remember doing this when I was new. If I got caught off guard, I'd be like, honestly, dude, it's like my second week on the job. All right. You know, help me out. Let me just get a little bit of information. Then you can talk to Rich and he can give you the full Monty.
That, have you told him to do that?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, the other way to do things too when you're new, I always think is a great way is just call up. I mean, I've got 100,000 people in my database, probably more now. And just you call up and say, listen, I'm just calling to reactivate you. I knew you're in the database. We saw you came up for a particular role. Love to see what your situation is. It's a super easy call, but it's that
Brilliant.
transition just gets him, he just gets real nervous.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
he
Okay, not
does
to be
have to,
comfortable, go ahead.
he does have to know more about who he's pitching at. And once you get somebody on the phone, then it's not about presenting. It's about, I don't want to use this term incorrectly, controlling the conversation. And the way you control the conversation is by asking questions.
Absolutely.
So what would be of interest to you? What would it take financially? If you're going to make a move, where do you need to be financially for anything to make sense for you?
And I would
And
say
then you
things
start
like,
having
help
conversations
me.
about that.
Yeah. I'd be like, help me not waste your time. What do you want? What kind of things do you want me to
I
call
like
about?
that
What's
line. Hey, that's a good one.
It's a great line. Yeah.
Second line today. Help me not waste your time. Okay, we have to wrap up,
To
but
understand, then be understood.
okay, I want to come back to something interesting. I didn't get around to it. Somebody posted that the three foundational elements of recruiting are grit, skill, and luck. But today, Ivan came up before Rich got here with grit. He didn't use that term, but okay, he speaks a different language. Okay, so grit is, you can take the tough, you can make tons of calls and you can take the bullshit they hand out and you can keep going like a machine. But Rich, and I consider that to be a personality issue that you bring. Okay, that's personality. Rich brought another personality element that you're not boring. Okay, you've got some fluidity to your presentation. Okay, so that's something that wasn't considered, and I didn't consider either. I remember these teachers. I'm going to talk to them. I'm no math genius. Okay, and if Mr. Daniel in grade 11, if we had him the last period of the day, 2:30 to 3:15. I just couldn't stand the thought of going to that class because he was so boring. Okay. He was so boring. If he would have been teaching math, but he was interesting to listen to, I don't think I would have felt that way. And that's what Rich is talking about. So there's two different things. There's a personality you're bringing and like a communication skill, and then a toughness. That's what Ivan was bringing. I'm wondering.
Think about it. I mean, if you talk, this is what I've been trying to get through to Zach. If you talk confidently, you don't have to know anything. You just talk like you're excited about it. You talk, fast, you talk loud, you talk excited. People are going to listen. Like, I don't really tell candidates a ton about these opportunities. All right. Speak pretty general, pretty open, but I just talk really excited. And
well, you know what? Your excitement doesn't sound really phony like some people's excitement does. Okay.
But that's it. That's the trick. You can't sound like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. You got to call now. But if you say, listen, I mean, this is a great opportunity, like you're confident and you're in control, people respond to it in kind. If you're like, hey, listen, this is a great opportunity. I mean, guys are making $500,000, Magic Quadrant, Gardner loves them, whatever. All right. It's not, if you're not into it, it's okay. But dude, it's a great role. I got to get on to the next one.
I like to pull away. Oh, if you're not into it, somebody else will. Okay. They're not stupid like you are. Yeah.
Well, sales guys love to be challenged. You tell them they can't do it or they're not good enough. Oh, baby. They're all excited to fight you now.
Okay. The fabulous Donna Terrell, raise your hand. The girl power on the show today. She's toughed it out. Okay. She's not feeling well, but I'm sending her energy. Okay. Ivan, Clang.so, the super duper IT recruiter who created his own applicant tracking system. Check it out, Clang.so, thesalesrecruiter.com, Michael G. Cox in the blue shirt, Super Rich Rosen, and H. Ryan Hachinsky. Yeah! Thanks, everybody. It was
Thank
fun.
you guys.
Yeah,
And you
later.
guys are
Great
real
week.
lucky. My communications were malfunctioning. You got to talk more than normal. Bye-bye.
See you later.